He went to his father, he was a young boy, told him, Dad, I had a dream of 7 planets and the sun and the moon bowing in front of me. His father, Jacob, he had a good connection with God, and he told his son, Joseph, don't tell your dream to your brothers, they might scheme against you. God gave Joseph such a charm, whoever sees him falls in love with him. So the 11 brothers decided to get rid of Joseph. They took him to the desert and put him in the well, and they got him a fake shirt and with a fake blood, and they told Jacob that this is what we could find from Joseph. So he went very sad and he was living in grief. Few days later, a caravan was passing by the well. Those caravan people were merchants. What they did, they looked at him and they said, okay, slavery is very popular, we'll take him as a slave and sell him to Egypt. And that's why you see in this painting 11 planets, 3-dimensional, and you see the pyramids. The minister of Egypt and his wife were on the market. And of course, the attraction of Joseph was humongous. And then the woman said to her husband, the minister, how about we take him? A few years later, Joseph became a strong, good-looking man. And the wife of the minister started to fall in love with him. She decided to seduce him. So she made sure that nobody's at home, and she put him in his room, and she started seducing him. Joseph could not understand. This is my stepmother, this is the wife of my master, I cannot do this. So what he did, he ran away from the room. After a while, the women of the city started gossiping about the wife of the minister. So what she did, this woman, she invited them for dinner, and she put in front of them knives and meat for dinner. And while they were cutting the meat for dinner, she told Joseph to come to the dining room. And when Joseph came to the dining room, he had such a charm. All the women started cutting their own hands, losing the concentration on cutting the meat. And then she looked at the woman and she said, this is what you have been blaming me for. He is not a regular human being. He is half an angel. She asked from him something. And then Joseph said, the prison is better than doing what are you asking me. So they put him in prison. In prison, there were 2 comrades, 2 prisoners, and they became friends. And they could feel that Joseph is very wise and he can interpret a lot of things. So they came to him once and they asked him, we had 2 dreams. The first one said, I dreamt of me pouring some wine for my Lord. And the other one said, I dreamt that I was sitting and birds were eating bread from my head. What do you say? And then Joseph said, listen, the one who was dreaming of birds eating from his head, he's going to die. And the other one who was pouring the wine, he's going to be a very important character and official in the government. And that is it. Few years later, those 2 guys went out of jail. The first one died, and the second one became a really important figure in the government. Few months later, Pharaoh himself had a dream. He had a dream of 7 fat cows and 7 non-fat cows. And they told his people, I would like somebody to interpret my dreams. And nobody could do this. Of course, you cannot make any mistake interpreting the dream of the Pharaoh. And then the prisoner that was a friend of Joseph, he remembered that Joseph interpreted my dream right. He remembered him. And then he went back after years to jail and he told him, Joseph, listen, I need a favor. And just sort of, why? Now you remember me? He said, yes. Pharaoh is having a special dream. Can you interpret it for him? And he said, yes. Let me meet the Pharaoh. And he went to the Pharaoh and he told him, your dream is explaining the following. There are going to be 7 beautiful years for Egypt. Make sure whatever you harvest, keep safe, because after those 7 years, a lot of danger is coming. A drought and famine is coming. So make sure that whatever you harvest is saved. So this is what they did. The 7 years passed and everything was beautiful. And when the famine arrived, Joseph saved Egypt because of this. So the story of Joseph is over 6,000 years old, and everybody knows the story. It's a story about adultery, about family relationships, about gossiping, about a lot of things. It is told through generation after generation. Of course, I leave this information for you to get the books. It's not only one book, there are 2 books on this. And if you would like to get the painting, it's written in Arabic and in English.